Hi, this is John Terhune. I'd like to welcome you to Life-Changing Thoughts. 3 minutes to mastery of subjects that matter. Today's subject matter focus is going to be about people skills. Today's subject title is Perpetual Promptness. Do you have people in your life that are perpetually late for things? You say, hey, let's meet at a certain time, and you know they're going to be late. And they always are late. They just don't pay attention to being on time. It's not a priority for them. Very young in my professional life, I made being on time a priority because I started to realize that that would really shine on me as being a professional. Because when I told someone I was going to be there at a certain time, number one, I was giving them my word. Number two, if I was there on time, I was showing respect for their time. If I show up late, if I decide we're going to meet at 2 o'clock, and I show up at 2:15, I just told that person, look, my time is more important than your time. I'm going to get there when I want to be able to get there. I don't want to send that message to people. The message I want to send to people is, I respect your time, and when we decide to meet at a certain time, you can count on me being there. If you went into my life, both in my professional and my family life, people would tell you John is always on time. In fact, John typically is always early, but he's always on time. And that actually follows a rule that I have in my life that serves me very well, and it's allowed me to separate myself from the business and social behavior of people around me. And my rule is very simple. If I am always early, then I am never late. Recently, I gave a speech at a university down in South Florida. I remember I needed to be there at 9 o'clock in the morning. I knew that I was going to have to go from my hotel about 3 miles, and I knew that in that part of the state there was a very good potential at that time of day for a very heavy traffic flow. So what I ended up doing, I ended up leaving an hour and a half early. Now, I easily got there in 30 minutes. I got into the parking garage at 30 minutes. I was an hour early. So I basically sat in my car for a little while and went over my speech in my head over and over and over again in preparation of what I was going to say during my speech. The point being is that I was not going to allow traffic and things that could happen bad to become an excuse for being there late. My rule is, if you're always early, you're never late. Just keep in mind, when you tell someone you're going to be someplace, you are giving them your word. And if you are not there on time, when you say you're going to be there on time, you are breaking your word. And when you tell someone you're going to be a certain place at a certain time and you don't show up on time, you are basically disrespecting their time, and you are telling them very loudly, you know what, my time's more important than yours, and I just don't have that much respect for your time. I refuse to go through life like that, and I can tell you as a professional and in your own family life, you will be highly respected for someone who is very predictable in regards to your being on time all the time, and the best way to do that is to always be early. One other aspect of this subject matter that I think is important to everybody has to do with meetings. I happen to chair a board here in the town where I live. As the chairman of that board, I set the time the meetings are going to take place. It was just the other day that I set a meeting for 5 p.m. When 5 p.m. rolled around, 3 of the 11 people on the board were actually there. It didn't matter. I started the meeting at 5 o'clock. Most people would say, you know, let's give them a few more minutes. There'll be some other people coming. Let's just wait. I didn't do that. And the reason being, if I do that, then basically I am training people to be late. This is a new board and a new position that I have, so it's going to take a little while. But I can tell you that every single member of this board already knows if John says he's going to start a meeting at 5 o'clock, he starts the meeting at 5 o'clock. What does that mean? I am good to my word. I'm not throwing out a general time. I'm throwing out a specific time, and I'm starting on time. And by doing that, I'm going to train those people to be on time and not to be late. And when you start a meeting late because you're waiting for other people to show up, you're training them to be late, and I am telling you that's not a great model to be able to go forward with in business. So I will tell you this one last thing in regards to this subject matter of perpetual promptness, and that is this. It's a decision followed by a commitment. It's a decision to say, you know what, from now on in my life, I will always be on time, and the way I'm always going to be on time is to always be early, and then get committed to that concept. It'll pay you great dividends going forward in your life.